Only slightly late today. It's only 10 minutes. Apologies everyone, I was out for a walk and it took a little bit longer than expected. Hope you're all doing well. Garrett, good morning. For me it's just past 3, but indeed another beautiful daybreak today. And Kirk of Hazard 2, you weren't able to see it just now, however I hope you have gotten your avatar walking just below me. Should be, I can't really see, it's just a little bit too small. Can't see the names. I've been doing well, just had a nice, as I said, just had a nice walk, and it's been 5 days. It feels like a long time, and I don't really know how to describe it. I would like to have the Friday normally, however I have some obligations that makes me not really able to stream on Friday currently. But it just feels like such a long time between the Thursday and the Tuesday stream. But I'm glad people are here. It's been fun. Didn't have that much time. I still have that one big project and I'm, well, nearly done with that. But that did mean that I didn't have that much time to work on Daybreak in the meantime. I did have some time to clean up a few things. Let's see if we go to the teaching display. God, I still love the fact that my camera is able to remove the background as efficiently as it does. I have been working quite a bit just cleaning up my code because frankly a lot of the pieces were kind of messy. I just had a lot of things that were in the wrong spacing, like stuff like this. I haven't been really working on adjusting the codes themselves, but just mostly working on what I currently have and is that currently clean, readable, and making sure that like all these V6 and V5, V7s, that they're all in a logical order. For example, this one, all the V7s you see here, they were V9 and the V6 was V5. It didn't make any sense. I don't know why I had it at that point, but I've been diligently going through it. However, pretty much around 3,000 lines of code, I believe. I don't know if I did no weapon yet. No, I've gone a bit further. So let's see. I should be probably Control F this. I was at the enemy phase range check. So let's say if this entire thing is another 5,000 lines of code, then I have done roughly 10%. So that's quite a ways to go. Luckily, I can just do a lot of search and replace, making sure that a lot of these things are really easily fixed. But it still takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of work, and that was the only thing I was able to do in the last few days. As I said, there's just one thing that is so big, so massive as for my workload that I have to spend most of my time on that. And I just try to do that for the most part, like the last 2 days especially. Anyway, how are all of you? I hope you're all doing well. For me, it's just had an entire spiel, but I am curious to hear how you're all doing. And I was thinking of maybe taking a look into a function that I don't really know that much about currently. Also, why don't I have text in the bottom? Why do I not have text in the bottom? I was thinking of going through the unit set fix function, which has one specific use, and that one use is in, I believe, 1-8. But pardon me while I try to see what is going wrong here. Studio mode, let's see, where can I... God, I have to find this again as well. That's the overlay, that's the background. Okay, it's showing up in the background. Why is my text and timer not working? There we go. That's a lot better. It's kind of stupid. Whenever I pull my OBS screen, I pull it to the left. I just have to swipe it right again just to be able to zoom in. But then all my other tabs for like Twitch chat, YouTube chat, Twitch events like follow, stuff like that, they all don't have their nice even spread out setup. So my YouTube chat ends up like this big, which is very sad for Garrett. And Twitch chat for some reason just goes very wide. Time to pull up just a few more files. Here we have, of course, just like last time, the all function list. And I was planning on taking a look at unit set fixed, because that one is also very important for Daybreak. Hello, there should be a... yeah, unit set fixed. This one is going to be used for Gale Force. At least I think it is. As you can see, this is where I found it. The unit set fixed function. If we go through this entire list, you can see that this is a very long script in 1-8. And like it starts on the map. You have Ratman, we focus on him. We have a lot of tackles, so these are all the... what are they called? The prisoners being shoved. Micaiah shows up, Soth shows up. We have a Netuzo battle with the card, so that's his attack. We have Ratman, we load in a lot of the reinforcements. People rotate. And then at a certain point, Worm and Tormod come in, they all do their thing, they have some battles. They also shifts depend on whether or not Vika survived the previous map, because she's actually not game over condition. And then you have a Netuso initialize, yada yada yada. And then we get to Nyla and Voluk. We get their position, they walk, they do some stuff. They both have a battle. Raphael comes in, he plays the chant, and we have the chant effect on V15 and V14. And then we have units set fixed, which of course gives them their turn again. So this should be usable as a Gale Force substitute. And I was going to take a look, see if there's a skill that I can make, because I want to also function a little bit for... I want to have some function for rescue and maybe make it a bit more strategic. Because I can't make pair up, like Fate's pair up. But I can make a few skills that actually benefit people when they're doing a rescue or a give or a take. So my idea was, and I know this is like a lot of context, but what if I could have a unit, if they have a skill and they drop a person, that if that person had not moved yet, that they would still be able to move. Whenever let's say Fiona rescues someone, even if Edward, who is being rescued, was able to move, if she rescues him and then he gets dropped on that turn by someone else who takes and then drops, it still means that he is grayed out, he can't move anymore. But what if there was a skill that let you pick up a character that hadn't moved yet and then drop them, and when they're dropped they'd still retain their I can still move state. So that's something I really would like to make into a reality, because it just means that you get more dynamic operations with rescue. I can't code rescue into pair up, that's just way too much stuff to do. I wouldn't be able to do guard gauge and anything like that. I wouldn't know how to modify the graphics so that you actually have two units on the same tile. That probably wouldn't even fit. And you'd have to adjust their positions, like one would be slightly here and one would be slightly here. Just, yeah, like that. One is in the back. And I wouldn't know how to do that. But if there's a few things that I can take from pair up and put into the rescue mechanic that we have, then that would be, in my opinion, a really good adjustment or addition to Daybreak. Less combat skills because we've got plenty of those, and more utility skills that you also don't really have to worry about when you're playing the game. You don't have to think about, oh, I have an aura there, I have something there, and that weapon on enemy phase will give me this, and because I was seal skilled and but I do have aroused defense and I am in defiant this, it means you don't have to think about all these different values changing your stats. That's a little bit too much of a headache for me on Conquest's and Fates' part. So yeah, that's why I want to do this. Hopefully we'll be able to make something work, but I don't expect it to work today. And of course, while I was rambling on, let's see, you're doing good, Garrett, and you start making new weapons for the weapons patch. You figured out how to do multi-items in Lex Talionis. You can make weapons do multiple things like heal like the Falchion or special attacks. That's really cool. Looking forward to seeing what you've all or what you've cooked up. Still a bit hot. Let's see, I'll take a look and we'll put this next to Gale Force because that's pretty much the same general piece of code. So this would be, I'd say transfer would be a great skill name for now. The only thing is, I currently don't know how I would go about making sure that the unit that is being checked is still... I would have to have an interaction where the units interact with one another, and I would have to determine like which character is being picked up, and I think that's the hardest part today. Also, I won't be able to stream that long, probably 2 hours max, because I have to make dinner afterwards. So don't expect like big revelations today, like with any of the animation streams or with like the skills we coded last time. I'm going for, this is a great idea, in my opinion, but this is a great idea, and I hope to get some progress, but I don't think I'll be able to get it fully functioning. I'm going to go quickly into the std file or folder, and we have and I know that sounds weird, but it's just what it's called. And I have an enums.exl, and this is pretty much used for telling you what certain callbacks do. You have that, like the one I explained before, the 0x7. 0x7 is after every action, and here there's a lot more stuff. And I filled in some of these myself, and there's a few of them that were filled in by Thane. So for example, 0x1 is only used for completing a chapter. And then we have one that triggers right before the start of a turn. So start, first turn number when the callback should run, end is the last turn, and then phase is where the callback should run. So 0 is player phase, 1 is enemy phase, and then 2 and 3 are either ally or other phase, but I can never remember which one is which. 0x4 is for treasure, and then 0x5 is for setting flags, things like a seize point and a defend point, stuff like that. 0x6, and some of these also just some have like die battle and turn after and poke. They have different values, like the 0x5 is possible to use, but you can also just use event.poke. So here we have like this one is triggers right after the start of a turn. Like these make slight differences, but the biggest difference between these is one of them, and I wouldn't be able to tell you which, but I think it's this one, which is before the start of player turn, would allow you to trigger ambush reinforcements. which are bad unless like you've seen my video on it, in which which tells how I want to handle it. And these trigger after the start of a turn. So things happen, units spawn on the map, and then the turn starts. So like there's a small difference, and one of them allows for ambush spawns and one of them does not. Checks after every single action. Talk events, of course, are 0x8. Die battle is something we don't need currently. I think die map is where a unit died, which is kind of specific. 0xc is for bonus experience, and base conversations are 0xe. And then pick is 0xf. And this is kind of where I have to think a lot about how I want to do this. I think I would have to do a unit test skill with the pick callback, and then if we find that skill, then we look around the unit that we have, and then if unit rescue one of those characters, then if the unit set fixed value is 0, then later on when we drop a character, that would once again check, and we would be able to see like if that skill is still there, then maybe we could set it so that the unit set fixed value stays at 0. But this is probably going to be a very messy thing, so don't get your hopes up. Best thing we can do is just start working on some code and see where it ends up, I guess. So we have our event pick in this case, and I'll have to look up how the event pick works because I wouldn't be able to tell you specifically how it's set up. I don't really use this one that much. Okay, it's also rarely used actually. Like unit pick, it's picked in the tutorial, it's once again in the tutorial, and then I don't know where. Oh, this is probably also still the tutorial. So it's pretty much only tutorial. So the first thing we would have to establish is our V0, which would be unit gets by PID, and who do we currently have in one prologue that is going to be able to use this? Like, that's also a big question, because there's probably going to be a mounted unit that's going to be able to use it. Like, this makes most sense for a mounted unit. I don't really know who it's going to be yet. Maybe Oscar, because I have Shelter already for Fiona as an idea, and I have an idea for Astrid, who also seemed like a good candidate. And then one of the more caring utility-like characters could be, I think, Oscar, or the other option I was thinking of in the vein of Makalov is trying to run away and run away with someone else, so they both get to keep their action and are able to run away, which is how it could also translate, like having both units still have their action. So like currently it's... Come on. Always nice when you have a hair just going over the laser and it can't actually move the mouse anymore. But those are, like, Oscar and Makalov are currently the two that I was thinking of because they don't have something specific to them yet. But I do have to take a look who is actually in the map that I can use for this. And I think it's going to be Liar or Leith. I don't remember who. We had Vika, but can Vika pick anyone up? She is not all that heavy, so I think it's going to be Soph. Unit get by PID. PID, Soph. And then V1. And here we also have to just steal a bit of code. Adjacent, probably? No. Next to... somewhere there's a value, or somewhere there's something that I'm able to use. Because I've used the entire system of like checking for units next to you already. Here we go. I think in that case we could do a mind get target. And we just leave it empty, because it doesn't have to be a specific person. And then we just steal this entire piece. Because here we have unit get X and unit get Y. And now we can check if any of these characters are correct. Like, if all of these, V6 is 1, and then we can pose the question, if V6 is 1, then we can continue on with the rest of the code. And then we also have to put in V7 equals unit. See, and here's the problem. We don't have, I don't know if we have a unit set fixed, or get fixed. So this would probably be an if statement. If unit set fixed V1 but this probably won't work, equals 0, like it probably spits out an error. Unit set fixed expected declaration. What am I doing wrong? This is like one of the more intricate pieces of the puzzle, because we have to find a way to equate the value 0 to the value of the unit set fixed. However, normally, because we have... we are... Oh, wait. Where are we? Where are we? Kill force, there we go, thank you. Because normally unit set fixed has, of course, 2 values. We'd have to find a way to equate that value without trying to actually establish that value as like something that we want to write in mind get target. Then unit rescue V0 V1. Still expecting a declaration. What's going on here? If unit set fixed V1. I don't understand. Why do you want a next? Why do you want a declaration? Oh, I am an idiot. There we go. Okay, so this is currently... It is compiling, that's good. So if Soth picks up... Here, if Soth picks anyone up, or if Soth has someone next to them that has the unit set fixed value of 0, hopefully this works, then they rescue V1. And now it's time to see if that actually works. I don't think it will, but no time like the present, I guess. It is quite difficult to try and wrap my head around this one. I don't really have a good idea of how to implement this, so this is mainly just going to currently if I rescue... Okay, if I wait, nothing happens. And besides, this should happen as soon as I pick a unit up, so that shouldn't work. Is there a unit drop command? Oh, why are you becoming small? Unit drop off? Oh. That makes it a lot easier. I didn't even know that one was there. So in that case, normally then we'll do it a different way. Unit test skill, and I'm going to V0. I'm just going to add a skill here, and I'm going to comment this out because there's no reason for me to currently test it because I'd have to add the skill in Paragon, but PID transfer, I guess. So if unit has transfer, then, and if units drop off, and how did that skill look? How many units? Gate 1. I have no idea. I don't even know if unit drop off actually works as I think it works, but B48. I think that means that it's at a specific value or at a specific direction. Like this is 313. So what happens in 313? Nyla gets drops off Raphael. Is this with Nyla and Raphael? Yeah, it seems to be Nyla and Raphael. Okay, so they do drop off. And then she detransforms. That makes sense. If unit drop off V0, 8. And I guess we can make this like for every single value, so we could 2, 4, 6, and 8. But I'm going to do it just for the 8 in this case. If unit drop off V0 if they drop off someone to the south, I believe, but I guess we'll have to test that. Then unit set fixed V1 0. So we have 2, 4, 4, 6, 8. This all makes sense. We don't need the skill transfer currently. Now just to take a look, see if it actually works as intended. So first off we rescue, that's all fine. Oh, Vika's being attacked. Oh, that's not good. That is not working as intended. So why isn't this working on event pick? Why is this working immediately? Interesting. I think you could say that Micaiah and Soth are very close. Also, I'm just like, what happens? Because currently she's considered interesting. Hey there, your resident liability, and hello there, Lord Mewtwo. So currently, I'm mostly just confused. Okay, now Micaiah is hidden, also very interesting. Nope. Oh. What we're trying to do is making a skill called placeholder name transfer, and it's not entirely, transfer is probably not the best name for it, but what I would like to try and do is make a skill that whenever a unit rescues someone and the unit that is being rescued is still able to make their movement. So for example, in this case, Soth rescuing Micaiah while she hasn't moved yet, and then if she gets dropped by either him or someone else, a flag is set, and then when she's dropped she's still able to move again. So kind of not necessarily Gale Force itself, but Gale Force would work the same way, where you move, you do an attack, and then if you kill an enemy you use the unit set fixed command to do something again and to be able to move again. And there's a few problems Gale Force has currently. However, the one that I'm looking at now is trying to drop a unit off with the unit drop off function. However, as we could see when we tried to rescue Micaiah, it didn't really work out as intended. Soth has been increasing his magic stat. I would argue that he hasn't necessarily. So the rescue part is fine. And then normally on a callback with event pick, I would then have to pick Soth, and whenever I select Soth, then something happens. However, it seems that when a combat happens or anything else, oh no, it doesn't work just with him. It's probably when I pick with anyone else. So yeah, this is fine. So I just have to specify that I'm picking with Soth. And then it has to not drop off yet. Oh, that's that kind of magic. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So the first thing is easily fixed with PID Soth. So now it's only when Soth picks someone up. And I guess I have to make this different. I have to do a different... I have to remove this if statement, I guess. Because we actually want something to happen, like when we pick we test the skill. So this is currently not here because I want the skill to actually like to be able to test it. This is something that we can add really quickly. And when we pick Soth, do we have anything else with drop? Doesn't seem like it, so it's unit drop off, drop a rescued unit, energy drop, drop off, drop off, drop off, drop off, drop off. So what are my options here? I can rescue, which is fine. Let's see, rescue. Unit get parent might be useful, whereas unit get parent used. Like, is there an event for dropping rescuing instead of using unit pick? No, there's not. Here we have the full list. 0x1 is for chapter completion. 0x2, actually I don't know what 0x2 does. I believe it does nothing. It does exist. Does it exist? No, it's all in the unknowns. So it would be... yeah, 0x2 doesn't exist. And 0x3, this is right before the start of turn. 0x4 is interacting with treasure and stuff like that, and chests. This one is for flags like the defend tile, setting stuff like that. This one is similar to 0x3, however, one of them, when you have reinforcements, one of them would create ambush spawns and the other one would create just on-map reinforcements and not have them move immediately. 0x7 is check after every interaction. 08 is for talk events. 9 is for die battle, which is just battle. And then 10 is for die map, which is actually when a unit dies. C is for bonus experience, E is for base convos, and F is for triggering after a unit is selected. And I believe we then don't have 0x2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A is missing, and then B, C, A and D are also missing. 0xD doesn't seem to show up. And then 0xa also doesn't show up in any callbacks. So like pick is the best I could think of. However, there would have to be a separate pick where when we select something. So when we press the A button, like when we drop a unit off, I guess when we select a unit, it could be done a little bit differently. For example, if we have a unit next to us, like callback a pick callback, and then instead of dropping the unit off, we rescue them, and then once we set a flag, and then once we move, then we can do a 0x7, so that checks after every single interaction. So it means that we can check for that flag, and once that flag has been set because we picked up someone, then they immediately get dropped again. I guess. So instead of like, there's so many things that we could probably use, but I don't know what they would how they would all interact. Add skill, add angle, animation, player absent, unit child send. Is that? It does have to do something with rescue. Probably with. Where is this? Turn 1. Set terrain name. Where are we? Oh, it's a tutorial map. Okay. So is there any place else this is used? 0x12. 0x11. Hello, cat. Not on my keyboard. There we go. So there's more 0x. There's a 0x13. What else do we have? Oh, okay, never mind. Cat didn't want any attention anyways. Like, what does unit child send even do? Eddie, Soth, Micaiah. So we have a boy, we have Eddie, and we have Micaiah. V2 moves somewhere. Unit move position, yada yada yada. Unit rescue, V3 rescues V2, so Eddie rescues the boy. And then send, oh, okay, this is unit child send is a transfer. So that's also useful for like a different skill, I guess. Because it sends V3, V4, so it probably sends like the character held by V3 to V4, if I would assume. Need right now, but useful for later. Escape, fade in, fade out, focus. Get belong count, get die, get force, get hero. Get parent selects the rescuing unit. if unit get parent equals v0, unit drop off. Get raise, get saggy. I also don't know what those would be. Unit push, very nice. However, as we were able to see with one of the videos I put out, it doesn't really take terrain into account, so I'd have to code around that. We have unit pair up and we have unit rescue, and I don't know what the difference is, so I guess we're just going to take a look. Come on. So we'll try unit pair up for 2 of these, and we'll try unit rescue for the other 2. And we'll make an if statement with if v6 equals 1, because that means we have a character that is actually next to Soth. And then I just have to tab these a little bit. Invalid token. Yeah, that makes sense because, let's see, rescue. So these are V1 and V1. And then pair up, same thing. I'm curious if these are just the same function. And of course I am forgetting all the semicolons. So if v6 is 1, if we have a match with mind get targets, then we try to pick them up. First part of the skill. And I guess we could try then to set a flag. If a unit is picked up, then we pick up the skill. Or if then we set a flag, like if the unit is picked up, and we go to a 0x7 event where whenever the unit has ended their movement, then they drop the unit off and they put the set fixed. So nothing happening right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Vika. So nothing is happening currently, because even though if v4 and v2 and v5 equal minus v3 minus 1, then v6 is 1. So if v6 equals 1, we try and pair up v1 and is v1 and so we have tutorial soldier blue, and this is probably sky, and then sword v1 14.5. I have no clue. This is probably a tutorial about. Let's take a look at the rescue tutorial. What does it do? If my tutorials don't crash, by the way. They don't, okay. Let's see, this probably is the same ally because 14 is probably the HP of the sword user. Yeah. And now he's safe. And then it says like drop a unit back onto the map. That is probably a drop off here somewhere, but this doesn't really seem to help us that much. What if I just remove this and also comment it out? Do we just pair Soth up with someone whenever they get picked? So many things to learn. I just wish I knew more about what all these functions do. So we pick, but nothing happens. So are there any other things besides rescue and pair up? Unit pair up or unit rescue? Oh, pick doesn't seem to do it either. Unit get parent. Hello Themos, how you doing? And hello Star Dutch Crusader. I'm currently trying to see what it's like to fail at making a skill. That's pretty much the gist of it. It's like to catch you up to speed, I'm trying to make a skill that whenever a unit picks someone up who hasn't moved yet, they can transfer them to another place and then drop them again, and the unit that was rescued won't be grayed out and still has their movement available. So I thought, if we have a callback where whenever Soth is picked, then he tries to pair up with any of these units. In this case, the person next to him. So that's currently not going as we are hoping it is. Unit rescue. Do I have them the wrong way round? Congratulations on being able to promote. Let's see, unit rescue, V3, V2. So V3, V2 is... I wouldn't imagine the boy picking up Eddie. Like, it makes more sense. But I guess we can try with a V1 and a V0. Now we'll leave that one the same. And here we'll also try V1 and a V0. Just have no clue what else it could be. One thing we did manage is dropping a unit off. However, they were dropped on the tile of Soth and not next to them. So that's also not entirely working. So Soth doesn't do anything. I'll move Vika out of the way. Also nothing happens. Nope. I think it has to do with that when you pick a unit, it might try to do something, but it won't be able to. because you're holding a unit selected. So what if we made this just event turn and 1 1999 0, and let's see what happens if it just happens at the start of turn. Maybe that's the case. Maybe because we have the pick, maybe because we select someone, it isn't able to do anything because we're in a menu. Player phase. So nothing happens. Where did South go? South, where are you? Why is it pointing at a chest? Okay, so that one doesn't work. What happens if we have him stand here and if we move Vika out of the way? That's indeed not how you're supposed to do the trick. Yeah. Okay. Nothing happens here. Okay, what happens now? Nothing. Thing. Nothing. Why does nothing happen? What did I do just now that South disappeared? Like, this is start of turn 1 till 99, so that's not the problem. There is a match. So this is currently not doing anything. Why is that? Let's add these back in, because we do need a match. Maybe it's just because it's trying to do too much at the same time, because he literally can't pick up anyone. Now it should be only people next to him. Like, even if this skill were to be made, I'd have to include a clause that it isn't able to pick up anyone who is on a horse. It shouldn't be able to pick up anyone from the enemy team. Also very important. Okay, that one does nothing. That one also does nothing. I am very good in placing Vika out of range. Capture is something I would find interesting, however, not sure I could implement it fully. And no one is being picked up. However, we still do have, like, we have our claws. We have a target. Maybe if we just change this to unit get by PID, and if it's able to be anyone. So PID underscore. Maybe that's not, because it's not a valid target. Normally the mind get target is used with battles, so maybe this works better. Come on, Pika, it's not that hard. Not being rescued over there. Not being rescued over there. Do I have any mistakes? The unit get by PIDs are correct, like Soth is V0 and V2 get X and Y, and then V4 get X and Y of V1. If V4, the get X, is the same as V2, and the V5 is the same as V3 minus 1. So that's just one. This is north, and then this is east, south, and west. Maybe V6 is 2, and then V6 is 3, and V6 is 4. So this is 1. And if it's 2, we're going to try this. If it's 3, we're going to try this. And if it's 4, we're going to try this. Try again. Step 1, just trying to get the unit to be picked up. And I managed to get that happen. I managed to have it happen before. I did it with Shelter. I could take a look at Shelter in just a moment, actually, now that I think of it. Okay, we're taking a look at Shelter, because I have no clue why this isn't working. B2 is 1. Okay, so just going to take this entire piece and try replacing this. That looks very... Okay, so while this is all happening, and then if we test Shelter, so here we have a, if we have Shelter and V7 is 1, so that would be something we'd add later. And we check the idea, and then we rescue V0, and yeah, V0 rescues V1. So this is how it's supposed to be. Basically what this does, it sets V2 to 1, and then V1 is any person of the allied team. And then while V2 is not equal to 0, so currently it is not, we get the next character in V1, so we just cycle through all the characters of our team, we get some X and Y coordinates, we put V7 to 2, and then it's now not adjacent, and 1 is yes, 2 is no. If we have a match, it changes to 1. So then if, and here it has to be V6, has to be V7. If V7 equals 1, Nothing is breaking, so if done correctly, this now should at least have us pick up a character. Okay, will this work? Something crashed. Not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. So where does it break? It breaks trying to load the map, so that's no good. So the event turn, let's place this as 1. And then this is all the same, except the unit get by PID is Soth instead of Fiona. And then while this is also the same, V0, V1, this all matches. I guess, like normally I'd have a test skill in this case, but guess we don't need most of these anymore. That's probably causing the crash. And we can always change this to rescue. Actually, rescue is probably the better one because we know that one should work. And if this works, I'll try pair up as well just to see what the difference is. Do we have an error? Do we have a crash? We do not have a crash. That's a good start. However, currently someone is not being picked up, so that is a problem because that shouldn't be the case. Okay, and it crashes here. Why is it crashing? Shelter didn't crash. Event turn. PID, Frida. V2 equals 1 for get first. While unit get next. V7 is 2. We go through this entire lot, which should be the same. And I guess if units unit get by PID so equals V0 and V7 is 1. Unit rescue. Maybe it's just trying to go through. Jesus Christ! Trying to go through too many hoops and locking itself into a cycle. So maybe with this it's possible to just keep it only at looking at Soth, and that might fix the issue. Nope. It's gone from bad to worse. Oh, wait. Duh. We have to, of course, put an end to the entire loop. Otherwise, it does end up in a cycle, so I can remove this part. And this should fix the crash. It's always important to, at the end, put a V1 is V2 to close the loop. Otherwise, you just keep cycling through and, well, as we could see... Oh, yeah, that works. At least we have the rescue mechanic working now. And we can drop, so that's good. However, we want it to happen on the start of player phase, not the start of enemy phase. And we can now set a flag. For example, set rescued, or set I have to put this in brackets, or no brackets, in colons. Transferred we set transferred. So then I think I have to put this in a register. So there's a really big register with all the flags I have, and I believe this is one that also is important to put in here. So we have transferred. Hopefully that will give us an option to then have a different callback, a callback that ends as soon after every action is taken, which then searches for a flag, in this case the transferred flag, and then drops the unit off and sets the unit fixed value immediately. So this would mean that at the start of turn, you can pick up a unit next to you, if of course some clauses that we have to add in later, but then you pick someone up, you're able to just pull them away, bring them over somewhere else, place them somewhere on the ground, and from there on out, you'd actually still have their movement available. And hello Morty, nice to see you here. Daybreak is a mod for Radiant Dawn. I don't have a fully playable game yet, but currently we're going through the game and going through the code. I'm trying to make new skills, make new functions for the game, just to at some point implement all of them, clean up my code, and get a cool product to you and all the other people that are excited for this and have a playable mod. Because Radiant Dawn is a fantastic game, but there's a lot of things that it can be improved upon. So hope you enjoy your stay, and if there's any questions or if you have any ideas about how you would modify games that you'd like, just let me know, we can have a nice discussion. And of course, Resident Liability, just appreciate you hanging around, and well, you're still sticking to the bit, I believe. You're still the only archer on screen, and I hope your room is indeed cooled down enough that you can actually get to a nice comfy bed. See you next time. I am going to go back to shelter just to steal a little bit more, which is the, let's see, V9, V10, yada yada yada. We don't need that. We do need a rotate and these movements just to make it look a little bit more normal. And now we're going to make a callback, which is 0x7. And this is it starts with an if statement. No, it doesn't. It doesn't start with an if statement. V0 equals unit. Actually, I can just I can probably pull that up all from here. Do I need all of that? I don't believe I do. I believe I only need PID so. No, I need this this part. Which then also means I need to add this bit in at I need to add this bit in at the end. So we have our character and we cycle through. If get what's it called? Transferred. And then we try the unit drop off. V1. And here, this is the question, like, what did the drop off do again? Which character did it apply to? Drop off V1 is get parent. Ah, okay, okay. So I don't need this. I'm just going to steal. If V1 doesn't equal 0, I don't know. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess I could just steal pretty much this entire thing. But we'll do it piece by piece. So we're going to select this. So the unit get by PID equals anyone, and the unit get parent of V0, because it doesn't really matter who it is, because it only happens when we get the transferred flag. And I guess we're just going to paste this in here, see what it does. This is something I just see in the code here, and I'm curious to see how it works. Oh, that's not the right one. So now I'm just curious what it's going to do and if it's actually going to help us as well. And Daybreak is on my top 3 of most anticipated games. Well, Garrett, what are the other 2? I mean, I know you're excited about your own project, of course, but if that one is not in the top 3, then what is? What's your top 3? Okay, Micaiah is being rescued, that's 1. And then nothing happens. Currently we don't have a drop-off moment. So I'm going to remove this and we're going to drop off V1. On, let's say, 8. And I guess this also means that we have to place it, and we have to then put a clause in that we have to check if there are any units around, because if we try and place them on a tile that is already occupied, that also wouldn't work. Clear transferred, that's fine. I just want to see something, like, I just want to see the framework working. So we currently do pick up Micaiah. However, we don't necessarily put her down yet. I guess we also have the drop command to take into account. What if I did this as I was thinking? So we still have Soth. We have V1, V2, so it checks for everyone. And if get transferred, unit drop off V1, 2. Fade in, unit move position, I guess those aren't currently necessary. I just want to drop off to work. Good question. The other two would have to be the next Digimon story game and Metroid Prime 4. I mean, people have been clamoring for Metroid Prime 4 for so long. I really hope we get some news on it soon. I'm not the biggest Metroid fan, or rather not the... Like, I like the games, I'm a fan of the games, but I haven't played them that much. It's been a long while. Big fan of Metroid Fusion. Just mostly did the side scrollers, like the GameCube. I never had the original Prime when I had a GameCube, so I got into them a little bit later, but I've seen speedruns and stuff like that, and I'm really excited about what we could get, but it's been such a long time, man. And Donlot, how are you doing? Nice to see you here as well. We're currently making a skill that picks up a unit, and then hopefully we can also then drop the unit. And when they're dropped, they would immediately be refreshed, so to speak. The idea is that you could pick up a unit that hasn't moved yet and then transfer them across the map, drop them, and they'd still be able to take their action. However, currently we're in the process of... Oh, we're dropping Micaiah again, but she's not fading on correctly yet. However, almost here. So I have locked Micaiah out of bounds. Any chance we can get Berwick Saga / XCOM style Overwatch? You'd have to tell me what that means, because I don't think you're meaning Overwatch the game from Blizzard. Yeah, Metroid Dread was amazing. I really do hope, like, Metroid Dread was fantastic. And I'm curious what the new Switch, like the Switch 2, which is in production maybe, is going to offer. Looking forward to that. I do think we need a unit move position and a unit fade in this case. So this would be here. I don't know if the unit fade off is also necessary. I guess we'll find out. Do we need the... Let's see, the 1 in this case is the parent. A drop of V1. That's not what I mean. Unit fade in, unit move position V1, V2, V3. Let's see, negate 1. I can try to add this because it would probably mean that nothing happens there. It means we don't place them on a specific tile, and then V2 is the X, so I could say Vx plus 1. Does this work? This does seem to work, and hopefully we can place Micaiah to the east of Soth in this case. Handheld gaming is getting much bigger, so I think Nintendo is going to have to really fight to stay more relative in the market. Oh man, I know that Radiant Dawn is my favorite, but the clean interaction with the dual screens from, like, especially the DS games, still FE12 is one of my favorite games to play. The only thing I don't like is the ambush spawns. But man, that just the upper lower screen divide, it's so good for Fire Emblem. Hello? Why did Sanaki, of all people... You're still traveling with? Why Sanaki? Yeah, Vika is fine. Wait, did she just get moved again? Oh, interesting, interesting. We're moving multiple people now. Oh, cool. Don't like it. What's happening? So I move Peleus. What is happening now? Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, now we're walking this way. Sure, makes total sense. What the fuck is happening? You do you, Sanaki. Cool, Sanaki's on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, Makaya is still here. Christ, what do I do? What do I do? So it's currently targeting the wrong character, that's obvious. Force get first, so we have to make sure that this is the person. Like, did we have a child? Was that... It was unit child send. But that was for transfer, so that's not what we need. Unit get parent. So if V1 doesn't equal 0, unit drop off. Unit drop off, negate, yada yada yada. It's a very weird interaction, and I still don't know exactly what is happening. Like, this is with Liane, and Liane, of course, is the person that is getting captured. Capture is actually in Radiant Dawn lot, but not as we normally, of course, would intend. If get transferred, drop off V1, but V1 is not who I want it to be. I want it to be someone else. So unit get parent, V0. Like, I guess unit get parent is if we turn that into Soth. So we remove all of this, we remove all of this again. So this is Soth. And it doesn't matter who this is. If get transferred, drop off V1. But now it has to be... I don't know. We're just gonna try and mess about. Also, let's see, I did ask for this. Any chance we can get Overwatch, aka you attack once an enemy unit gets in your range. Any chance we can get the skill that allows you to attack once an enemy unit gets in your range? I guess, yes. I think it'd be possible, but you'd have to take so many different tiles into account. Or maybe No, you'd have to take only a few into account for attack range. I think technically, yes, should be possible. And yes, this does have else-if statements. But they're, like, not really useful. I don't know what I would be able to do. Like, there's 14 else statements. And they don't make much sense. Like, there's not really that much context. There's also match and while, but they're kind of weird. But no, I guess a reaction attack should be possible. So we pick up Micaiah. We end our turn and nothing happens, okay. So far we've been able to pick up Micaiah and we can drop her, but then things start to break. Drop off, so it's Leanne, and here we drop off Zehark, but this is a different kind of drop-off, I believe. Here we just drop off like 8, which is the Nyla one. And here it's also 8, so it's somewhere Ike and Enna, I don't know, in 314, 3 endgame. Someone is dropped off. Oh, that's probably Sigrun or someone dropping Anna off, I think. Yeah, this is a... This is just a mess, to be completely honest. I'm not gonna lie. We got this working, and this still needs some caveats, like which direction would be the first one, and then don't pick up units that are heavier than you, like you still have to adhere to certain rules, and from there on out, don't pick up units that already are rescuing someone. There's so many things you'd have to think about. But at least there's some progress, I guess. I'll just put a caveat with like not working. There we go. Let's see, I think it would be cool if the Switch 2 could add the tech from foldable phones to get multiple screens like DS. The biggest weakness is the hinge though. Yeah, DS was top tier handheld. When I like was a child, because like, how old is the DS? Nintendo DS Lite. I got the DS Lite. The release dates. It was 2006. So in 2006, that's like almost 20 years old, or almost 20 years ago. Yeah, the first DS, but I as a kid I got the DS Lite. I never got the DS itself. But my mom said like, you know what, I want you to really think hard about this, so she actually had me like save up the money over a period of 2 months, all my allowance, and if I still wanted it, then I could get it. And I had a lot of fun with it, of course. It was a great handheld, many fond memories, but it is one of the things my mom gave to me, like, always think about these kinds of investments. Is this just a spur of the moment, on a whim kind of splurge, or is it something that you're actually like seriously considering? And I try to do that with a lot of things in my life still, and that's like the first really big moment where I could think of it. Like, of course I had Game Boy Advances and stuff like that, but the games I bought myself, but the console I often got for like Christmas, or in this case St. Nicholas, which is in where I'm from, like the bigger holiday, at least at the time. So the games were not that high of an investment. But the DS, of course, it was quite expensive at the time. I still have it here. Still with Pokemon Emerald connected. And at some point, I put it... Hello? Come on. Come on, are you visible? Yeah, you can see I also put a really small mirror in here. I don't know why. I didn't want to put stickers on it as all the other kids in school were doing, but I did have a really small stick-on mirror. It also still has my name on the sticker on the bottom because I had LAN parties at some point. Dark blue, and it gave me just a lot of fond memories. I didn't get Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon that soon. Like, it took a while for me to be able to find it. Yeah, I'm not like the other kids. But once I got it, I loved playing through it. Even though, of course, the graphics of FE12 are a lot better. And I got a Cyclo DS for that eventually, like with a micro SD, so you could Uncle Jimtendo all your games. But yeah, it took a while, but I just loved the story of FE12 or FE11. As bare bones as it is, like the storytelling that is there is absolutely stellar. Especially the line when Marv retakes the castle, like, I am a prince before I am a brother or a son. I believe that's the line, like, absolutely peak writing. Love that game. And still one of my favorite characters from there is George, which you may have seen in the profile picture, and I also like Tomas. And eventually on Serenus Forest I actually played a few Wi-Fi battles with like the Vincent ASM and a few other people that were active. And I managed to really save scum my way, legitimately I might add. I save scummed my way into resetting for really good stats for the entire Boa squad, like Boa, Media, Dolph, McKellen, and Tomas. Because, believe it or not, like, you need a team of 5, and that team is technically optimal because they all have like hidden internal bond supports which raise or lower critical hit, just like in Radiant Dawn. And for some reason they have like the best collective of those. Like, they have the highest values. At least I think it was that. I might be pulling things out of my ass here, but I genuinely believed that at the time, so I'm going to quickly check it. Let's see, Shadow Dragon. Support bonus. So like there's this entire group. Yeah, Dolph. Media has Astrum, Boa, Dolph, McKellen, and Tomas. And then Dolph has McKellen, Tomas, Media, and Boa. McKellen has Dolph, Tomas, Media, and Bowen. And Tomas has Dolph, McKellen, Boa, and Media. Like, they all support each other with like... and they need supports. And they get... At A support, they get plus 10 hit, plus 10 avoid, plus 5 critical, and plus 5 critical evade. And since they all support one another, they're just this group that can really leverage high hit rates and stuff like that way more effectively than a lot of the other characters. Katria is also one who has Marth, Minerva, Kain, and Frey, but then Marth only has Sida and Elise, and Frey has Marth, Pala, and Katria. Abel has like a few. Kain has Marth, Katria, Abel, and Est. They don't overlap. So I save scummed my way into like this optimal team for Wi-Fi battles in FE11. I don't know how I got here, but it's just fun memories. Actually, like, really like using that squad. Not in a regular playthrough, they suck, but for specifically that, they were fantastic. You were disappointed with it at the end, Garrett, with FE11? I do get that. If you came off of like Path of Radiance or FE7, or if you had any of the other support games where like character-driven narratives are way bigger, then it can feel really bare bones. And of course the animations are not great. I won't sugarcoat that. The animations aren't fantastic. They lack especially that oomph. Like when the Berserker just twirls their axe around once and then does a swipe, it doesn't feel as impactful as when the Berserker in GBA just tosses that thing into the air and smacks it down, or when you get a Colossus proc with Nolan. That's not the same. But for me, I knew that the DS game, of course, wasn't the same as Radiant Dawn, and I had only played Radiant Dawn at the time, so I was used to the bare-bones support system. So I didn't really mind. I guess it just shows that different circumstances give you genuinely different feelings towards what the game has to offer. I am, however, probably going to end the stream there. It's nearing the 2-hour mark, and I still have to fix some dinner. I'm not going to be able to fix this in 10 minutes, so this is probably something I'll do either on the next stream, Thursday, or I am going to work on this at some other point. I'm not going to have time for this, as I said at the start of stream. I just have a very big project that's well underway and close to being uploaded on YouTube, but not yet, and I really want to finish that beforehand. However, there of course is the Nintendo Direct, and I don't know what time it is. I'm going to quickly check. But if people are interested, I could also do a small stream for that, just a reaction. We could have some copium. Let's see, Nintendo Direct. Videos. Live? Is it, when is it scheduled? Like, that's Nintendo Direct, when is it scheduled for me? February 21st, and it will be 6 AM PT, 9 AM ET, okay, 9 AM ET to GMT plus 1. That would be... Wait, that is... "9 AM is 15 o'clock. Here, that's regular stream schedule. Okay, that's great. So that's good. And it's the 21st, so that would be tomorrow. So I could probably throw in a small reaction stream tomorrow if people are interested in huffing some copium with me. And otherwise, I'll be back here on Thursday anyways. So yeah, let me know. I'll probably also throw in like a post in the Discord, and we'll see. Maybe I'll be online tomorrow. Maybe we get FE4. Maybe we don't, and then we'll all just be wearing our clown makeup and it'll all be just in good fun. I mean, a group of clowns together is still at least a funny organization, right? I might do that. But for now, I think this is where I'm going to call it. Once again, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you... yeah, it's a circus. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow and otherwise on Thursday. Have a great evening, and see you later.